Listen, footballers just care about number one, and if anything, just reading between the lines with even EK Gundogan, they'll just be laughing and joking, but half tongue-in-cheek that, you know, it's more football to be played, more games. We talk about there's too much football at the minute already. It's more games. It's potentially another 100 games.
That's right, yeah.
It's madness. And it's just led by pure greed, pure arrogance, and I say that not as an ex-Chelsea player, and just as a football fan. It's disgusting.
You mentioned what is coming next, and I suppose what's been missed by a lot of people, not everybody, was the list of changes that UEFA are making to the Champions League from 2024. Here's like the main headlines, Richie, when you look at them. Like, as Damien says, 100 extra games, 4 extra teams. Now, does this fix the issue? Does it keep the big clubs happy? Does it, you know, help and foster the football pyramid? The money trickles down?
I think it depends on what you see as the issues with the current format. I think if you're one of the bigger clubs, the issue you see as the problem you see is that not enough money is being made by them. And I think this addresses that, because the bigger clubs will play more games. There's more games in the route to the final. That means generating more revenue. They've also tweaked the qualification factors a little bit, so it's going to benefit the clubs who have high coefficients. They're all the elite clubs. But I don't think having 100 extra games, primarily in the group stages of the Champions League, necessarily makes it more attractive to watch or more meaningful to take part in. I think it was driven solely by the elite clubs or driven to appease the elite clubs. Like so many incremental changes that have been made in top football, European football, elite football over the last 10, 15, 20 years, it's all designed to keep the biggest clubs happy in case they bolt.
Which they did, and then bolted back.
So that's what this is. So much of the talk in the last week has been people celebrating what didn't happen rather than focus on what actually did. And what has happened is the Champions League format, for me, has been weakened. The tournament is going to be less attractive to watch. But the biggest clubs are going to make more money. And I don't think that should be seen as a victory or something we should just skip past or not discuss, because they're still calling the shots in European football, no matter how people think the last week or 10 days went.
But the power, I suppose, if you look now, the PSG chairman is the head of the European Clubs Association. Some of these clubs have lost powerful positions around UEFA. So Bayern and PSG will be, or would be, the biggest voices in European football. Now, some people will be unhappy with the PSG bit. I don't know. Like, you've lost a lot of influence of big clubs around that table. Is that good or bad?
Well, listen, I think I said to you a couple of months ago there on the show here, I'm not sure what game it was, that you can't trust anyone in football, and you slightly disagreed with me, but I think after the week we've just had, you might start coming around to it. Perez obviously coming out, and granted Agnelli's left and the Paris Saint-Germain owner's in, and he's powerful as it is already, but Perez coming out saying this week as well that he's saving football. He's absolutely not saving football. He's looking after his own interests. Barca themselves, they're nearly €1 billion in debt. Nearly €1 billion. Inter the same, to cover the cost of the Galactico signings. The Bernabeu's getting redone, the new camp. So absolutely, he's not saving football. What will save football is when fans are back in the stadium. Yeah. And I think it's the famous saying, Jock Stein, football is nothing without fans, and it's ever so true this week.
But I think we need to do more than simply wait for fans to return to stadiums to think that there's going to be any meaningful change to anything. There's loads of talk actually in the last few days about how do you effectively respond to what happened. In other words, how do you punish the clubs involved? And there's a huge appetite, and I get it, there's an appetite for retribution or punishment. Or
what sort of punishments would you...
I don't know how you effectively respond to this. I don't know how you punish them in any meaningful way, which won't do anything other than drive a wedge even more so between those clubs and the rest.
And then make the Super League in the future more likely if you punish them now.
I think that one of the key points here is... Loads of people have described this as an attack on football, this is an assault on football. There are loads of emotive phrases used, but if whatever way you characterise it is, it's going to happen again. These clubs, the debts aren't going to go away overnight. The ambition of the clubs aren't going to go away. The attitudes of the owners, the priorities of the people who run these clubs are not going to change. So they're going to regroup, they're going to bide their time, they're going to wait till all this dies down, they're going to come up with a better idea that's better delivered, with more consultation in the next one. So I think what you need to do is guard against that. Protect yourself against that, because they've shown the hand. We know they're going to do it, and they're going to do it again. So you introduce regulations and put them in. at national level, at league level, at UEFA level, at FIFA level. There's phrases in the rules already that you're barred from playing in unsanctioned tournaments. But be specific with the consequences.
Well, the Italian league
has started to do it.
Yeah.
So if you're an Italian club and you attempt to be a part of something like this again, your membership of the Serie A, you're gone.
That's from next season.
So have the Premier League do the same, and Spain do the same. Have UEFA and FIFA make it clear, if you're part of a league like this, you don't get to play for your country in our tournaments. Make it clear that the managers and the coaches that manage in these tournaments can't play either.
The other view that's put out there, Damien, is about clubs now cutting their cloth to suit with massive debts. Inter Milan, AC Milan, the two Spanish clubs you've spoken about, Atletico Madrid, new stadium, massive debts. Like, what about a salary cap? What about trying to, Haaland's agent Raiola was talking about in the not too distant future, £1 million a week player. Like, where's this money going to come from?
I think it has to stop there, you're right. And I think we said it even 2-3 years ago when Neymar and Mbappe, their fees, they just seem to be going up and up. So it needs to be regulated, there needs to be caps. Because, like I said, it's these big clubs that are always going to benefit. And especially, listen, they're the ones with all the power. But like I said, the week that's in it, it's great that the fans fought back. And it shows that they still have a voice.